Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Well, hi, I'm good. It's Friday.
I know Easter is this weekend. Going to be a great weekend. Got a guest coming up later in the program, Josh Kattenberg, and we're going to be talking about rental properties and people that want to invest in rental properties. And he wrote the book on this topic, literally. So we're going to be chatting about his book. That's coming up here in a little bit. Hey, did you know lemon sharks grow a new set of teeth every 2 weeks?
I did not.
One shark will go through more than 24,000 new teeth per year.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're called lemon sharks. So I think if you catch one of those, you just twist it a little bit and you get a little lemon shark juice out of them. Probably not. I don't know how that works. Listen to this. Internet auctioneer eBay canceled the sale of a supposed piece of Egypt's Great Pyramid. There was a thing on there that said it was part of the Great Pyramid. If the piece truly is real, it would be illegal to sell it because it would be illegal to take it. The antiquities director of the pyramids insists, though, that it is indeed a fake, that it's not from the pyramid. So somebody supposedly went and swiped a block from the pyramid and they were trying to sell it. Bad idea. I wonder if they'll get some charges pressed on them for trying to sell something that they, I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know how that works. I can tell you this. We've got some special things happening today. We'll tell you what those are in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Good Friday. So
It is Good
get
Friday.
That going for us. It's also International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic. So there's a long title there. It's also International Day of Solidarity with Detained and Missing Staff Members. And it is, I'm not sure what that is.
Detained and missing staff members is like somebody in accounting that
Apparently.
turned up missing.
Here's one. She left for the restroom back in April. Coming up on a year that she's been gone. Starting to think we should check the restroom.
Oh, my gosh.
It's also World Marbles Day, National Day of Celebration of Greek and American Democracy. It's National Medal of Honor Day.
Oh, that's nice.
Old New Year's Day. This is when New Year's used to happen, was this time of year. It's Pecan Day. It's Tolkien Reading Day. And it's Waffle Day.
There you go.
I love waffles, and I think to support our friends in Belgium, we should all have some Belgian waffles.
Well, there you go.
Do it for Belgium, folks. Do it for Belgium. Have a waffle on Waffle Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. If you're thinking of getting married, maybe you should think again. According to this, here are some doozies. It says every bride-to-be dreams that her wedding day will be the happiest of her life. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. Here are some bizarre things that happened. Best man Albert Muldoons stood on the wrong side of the groom and accidentally ended up getting married to the bride. This mix-up took place at a church in England in the 1920s when the minister assumed that Albert was the groom and addressed all of his questions to him. The real groom was so nervous that he couldn't speak, so Albert answered everything for him, saying, I do.
What an idiot.
Yeah. So they actually married the bride to the best man. That was in 1920. A wedding held in Kingston, England in 1973 started off shakily when the minister became ill, had to be replaced at the last minute. Next, the bride was so overcome with emotion when the groom placed the ring on her finger that she fainted. She remained unconscious for 20 minutes. When she finally woke up, the ceremony was complete. The couple did not have much of a wedding night. The hotel they planned to spend it in burned to the ground. So that all happened at one wedding. First, the pastor got sick, then she got sick, then their hotel burned down.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Another story here. The mother of the groom sparked a brawl in the aisle that ruined a 1993 wedding for Jason Adams and Andrea Sims at the church in Nottingham, England. When the minister asked the congregation whether anyone knew of any impediment to the marriage, the groom's mom piped up that the bride was a trollop. I'm not sure what that is.
I think I know what that is.
Probably isn't good. And she says, she's just not good enough for my son. There was an ensuing fight that the police had to stop.
Huh.
And the final story here, it seems like they're all from England. This one is the wedding of Susan Baird. She and her husband Stephen got married in 1995. The crowd became so rowdy the police had to quiet the revelers down, but the guests clashed with the police and a full-fledged riot broke out. The bride and the groom were arrested, led off in handcuffs, along with dozens of guests and newlyweds. They all got to spend the weekend in jail.
Well, there you go.
So, again, if you're going to have a wedding reception, make sure you let everybody know ahead of time, we don't want any problems. There you go. You know those things are true because you heard them on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. Remember MySpace? Back when that was a thing?
I never did MySpace,
I
so
did.
I'm
I
not
don't
familiar
know
with it.
why. It was kind of like Facebook before Facebook. So I think Facebook kind of ripped off MySpace a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, that site resulted in jail for a Bensalem, Pennsylvania teenager. Many teenagers used the MySpace site to boast about things. This one used it to boast about using drugs.
Like recently? I didn't even know that was still a thing.
I don't know how old this story is. This is It's on the internet. It could be from 10 years ago.
All
I
right,
have no
all right.
clue. This kid apparently, you know how hard it is to find these stories? Heidi?
Okay, continue.
Cut me some slack, lady. This kid apparently was using them, and this was a moment where he maybe didn't make the most brilliant decision. He posed for a photo with a gun and a bag
Wow.
of pot and posted it on his MySpace page.
Nice.
Among those logging on was a local detective who thought it seemed real enough to at least launch an investigation. The teenager has since been charged with possession, and I bet he's not on MySpace anymore. So there you go. Even if that exists still. I'll have to look and see. I had a profile on there at one point. I'll have to look later and see if I still have that. I have no idea. Coming up, we've got your moment of duh. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you've ever spent time in a hospital, you're bound to be shocked by the type of bill you can rack up there. It's crazy how much that could cost. Well, Herman Wicker of Evansville, Indiana, is upset that the amount of his hospital bill as well. He received a bill for 1 cent. That's right, 1 penny. Retired car salesman went to the emergency room and was billed a penny. But Wicker still refused to pay for it.
What? Are you kidding me?
He says Medicare and private insurance should have covered his visit. And get this, a collection agency has now
Oh my
come after him,
gosh.
saying if you don't pay the penny, you'll be in jeopardy of hurting your good credit. However, he still is refusing to pay the penny.
Just give him the penny.
It's a penny. What happened here with common sense? I think at this point you
It's
hand
not
over
even worth arguing over.
the hand over the penny and you say, wow, you guys have got some issues. Here, I'll give you a quarter. Take care of the other 24 people you're doing this to as well.
Jeez.
So I don't know who the moment of duh goes to, this retired car salesman that's being too stubborn to pay a penny or the entire system that's trying to charge him a penny.
I would say they both share equal
Equal
stupidity.
opportunity, yes. Scoop of the day is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. How desperate must you be to break into a laundry shop for candy? There was a trail of Skittles and candy wrappers that led police to 3 children who they charged with
Aw.
breaking into a vending machine and robbing a coin-operated laundry shop. Police were called to the Angels Coin Laundry, this was last Tuesday, I believe, to investigate a smashed window. $10 in quarters were missing. Stolen candy from a vending machine was also missing. Officer Tom Wright noticed the empty candy bags and some Skittles on the floor, and he followed them to a nearby boy on a bicycle.
Oh.
The boy admitted that he broke into the store With his brother and his friend, not the greatest criminal mastermind here, not only does the boy readily admit that he did it, but he didn't even have the common sense to ride away on his bike from the scene of the crime, apparently. 3 boys, ages 9 and 12 and 14, were taken to the Gainesville Juvenile Assessment Center. So that is a bad idea all the way around.
It's too bad.
It
There's
is
wanted
too
some
bad.
candy.
Yeah, if you want candy, get candy, but don't break into a laundry place
no,
and break into their
definitely
vending machine.
not.
I worked at a laundromat when I was a kid. I get to like pull all the coins out of those machines. That was a fun job. Anyway, moving right along. A retired man in England recently received a visit from the man who mugged him 2 years ago. After being released from prison, the mugger made a beeline for Charles Wiseman's home in Essex, not to seek revenge, but to make amends.
We talked about this.
I don't know if we did.
We did.
84-year-old was amazed when his attacker arrived to say he was sorry for the crime. He handed over a bag of stolen items and his wallet and driver's license.
We did. We talked about that.
I'm going to keep talking because this is what I got here. The 22-year-old mugger said he was trying to do the right thing and right all of his wrongs. He had been sent for prison for 2 years for this attack that he had done on Wiseman, who said he was choked up by the gesture. So, you sure you remember all of that?
Yes, I'm 100% positive.
I don't remember any of that. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday either, so that could be partially me. Hey, tell me if you remember this one. I don't know if this has been on or not, but Mark Valenti of St. Louis, Missouri. So far, do you remember it, Heidi?
No.
He made a bold attempt to score $9,000 worth of jewelry using his digestive system.
Ew.
43-year-old Valenti asked a jewelry store clerk if he could see a couple of diamond rings totaling 2.5 carats. He put them on his little finger, told the clerk that, yeah, I'll take them. And what he meant is he would literally take them. He started to walk out of the store without paying. Before you know it, store employees were chasing him as he put the rings in his mouth and swallowed.
Oh, my gosh.
Once in custody, police x-rayed the thief, confirming the rings were in his digestive tract. Police are still waiting for them to pass.
Ew.
Oh, and Mark, when they hand you a summons for your arrest, don't eat that because it's not going to get you out of jail. Can you imagine doing that?
I wonder if those rings will be sold at a discount now.
Oh, man, I never even thought of that. Couple of rings. Yeah, ladies' rings that 2.5 carats. If they, they're probably going to, they went in the top, they're probably going to come out the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what will happen to those. Maybe they'll stay in evidence for a long time.
You'll save a load of money.
Well, you can't say that on the radio, Heidi. That is disgusting to even think about that. Hey, when you care enough to send the very best. It doesn't say which diamond store, otherwise I'd make sure. It's in St. Louis, Missouri, so maybe you just steer clear of buying your ring from St. Louis, Missouri for a while.
Man.
All right, you ready for strange law?
Yes.
All right, strange law. In Montana, sheep placed in the cab of a truck must be accompanied by a chaperone.
Okay.
You cannot leave sheep in your truck alone. You need a chaperone. Otherwise, you can be arrested for that. So, don't exactly know why, but there it is. That's a strange law from Montana. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. And you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. Start earning 6%. Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com right now. What are you waiting for? Go to commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Again, that's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. I've got a guest joining me today, and he's actually in the studio. I have Josh Kattenberg. He's the author of Rental Property Success, Horror Stories, Insider Secrets, and Disciplines of Successful Rental Property Owners. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Well, we're glad to have you join us here. Now, first of all, let's talk about your background. How long have you been in the rental industry yourself?
Been here for 6 years, and then we're part of a national franchise, which has been around for about 30 years.
Nice.
And so we're currently the largest residential property management company in the United States.
That's awesome. That's very, very cool. And That's called, what is it?
Real Property Management.
Real Property Management. Very, very cool. Now, Rental Property Success. When did you put this book together?
We published it about 2 years ago, and it took us about a year in creating it.
Yeah, and it's got all kinds of interesting stories that people will learn from.
Yeah, so that was the fun part, is instead of just creating a dry, dusty manual of property management, because that's kind of boring. Property management, of course, or rental properties have been around for as long as there have been real estate.
Yeah.
But anyone that's been in the industry knows that crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
And so we've sprinkled throughout the book some fun stories, some crazy stories of things that have happened to us, and hopefully people can learn from them.
This is something that, people will flip on TV and watch some show where they flip a house, or they'll watch a show where they, buy a rental property and they make all kinds of money. And I suppose there are a lot of people, when they watch those, they say, I'm going to do that. Is that always a good idea?
Oftentimes it's a good idea, but, obviously we got to have preparation involved. And, of course, things like Flip This House and different TV shows have really popularized this idea of getting into rentals, which is great. And usually the flipping side is you buy it, fix it up, and sell it for a profit, hopefully.
Yeah.
What's less known, or maybe a little less sexy, is the whole idea of buy and hold real estate for rentals. And there is a lot of money to be made, just not quick money, long-term money, mailbox money, when done right, can really fund your dreams and your retirement plans and the things that you want to do.
And the thing that's cool about that is you make the investment to get the property, and you fix it and make it nice, but then you get paid when you rent it. You get paid monthly, as long as you keep that rented over and over and over and over.
Yeah, the mailbox money idea, right?
Yeah.
So it just keeps coming in.
And I understand that. Before we started chatting here, I was telling him, when I was growing up, my dad had a bunch of rental properties, and I told him I could write a book about what not to do. So ours weren't necessarily the nice. I think we were slumlords. It's pretty much what we were. So. But again, the book is called Rental Property Success, and you've gotten really good reviews from people on this book, haven't you?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. When you sit down and you write a book, you never really think that you've got much to say. And then when people start reading it and they said, I've got my copy all earmarked and I'm sharing this with my property manager and I'm using the book to encourage them to do some of the things you're talking about, it's like, wow, I do have something to say.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's been fun. Even other property managers have come back to me and said, they're professionals in the industry, and they come back and say, wow, I really learned some stuff, and I'm having my staff read it, and it's going to make us more money, make us more profitable, turn us into better landlords, and give our tenants a better renting experience.
So this is a book that if maybe you've got somebody in your household that's always wanted to, flip a house because they watched that TV show, or if maybe you're somebody that has already done this, where you've made the investment, maybe you feel like, man, am I in over my head? This would probably be a good book for just about anybody in those different situations.
Yeah. So our target market essentially is, we really want to educate folks, because if we can teach them on the front end how to do it, they're not going to make the bad mistakes on the back end. And when people make mistakes in real estate, they're expensive mistakes. And they just say, real estate's for the birds. I tried that rental thing. I don't want to do it again. And that really hurts, right? It's like, no, guys, this is a great investment opportunity, especially when you look at the stock market, even, in the last couple of weeks and months or whatever. You just kind of see all your investments just dry up and wither away. Real estate is one of those things where you're diversified. Sometimes it's even in your local market. You can go buy and see your investment, and you have direct control over it in many cases. And so what we're trying to do is help the folks that maybe we call it DIY, do-it-yourself landlords, that they have one or two rentals, and we can really help them understand how to place tenants, how to find good tenants, how to collect rent, why it's important, some of the forms, the legal trouble that we can get into. Of course, regulation has increased over the years with the fair housing regulations and different litigation that people get into. So you want to really think through what you're doing before you start. If you do that, you can be much more successful than trying to damage control on the backside.
And for people who even maybe are a renter right now, this would be a good book for their property, the person that owns a property, to read. Maybe you could get this for them as a gift. If, if you've got one of those landlords that needs to read it. I'm only half kidding on this, but I think, even if it's kind of a wink, wink, you need to read this thing.
I had never thought of that before.
if you've got somebody that needs a little help. Because the cool thing about this, at the end of the day, when people know the right answer, when they have more information, everybody wins, really.
Absolutely.
So if you're the one that owns it, or even if you're the one that lives in it, everybody wins. So, again, the book is called Rental Property Success, Horror Stories, Insider Secrets, and Disciplines of Successful Rental Property Owners. Our guest is Josh Kattenberg. Josh, where can I find a copy of this?
Amazon. Either you can get the Kindle version or the paperback version. I think it's out there on Barnes & Noble. I think probably Google Books also has it. Just pretty much whatever your favorite retailer is online.
Very cool. And for our listeners here in Sioux Falls, the cool thing is this program gets to go all over the country on our other affiliates, but the ones here in Sioux Falls, you live right in the Sioux Falls area.
Yep, that's where our business is. So all of our rental properties that we manage, are right within 30 miles of each other.
Yeah, that's really cool. And the fun thing is, we again, most of our guests that we have on here are from somewhere else. So first of all, it's rare that somebody stops in to see us on this program because it's usually over the phone. But it's really nice when we get a chance to do that. So thank you for doing this. And I think it's cool that you're having success selling this book all around the country and making an impact really all over the nation.
Yeah, and the other piece, and we've just started rolling out a plan to actually go on a speaking tour with this. So taking the ideas of the book and then providing continuing education classes
That's
around
awesome.
in different markets in the country.
Well, when you get all of that done, be sure to reach back out. We'll have you back in.
That sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Again, Josh Kattenberg is our guest. The book is called Rental Property Success, Horror Stories, Insider Secrets, and Disciplines of Successful Rental Property Owners. It's available right now at Amazon.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The average taste bud lives for just 10 days.
Really?
Yeah, so if you don't like something, try it again 10 days later. Maybe you will. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Manatees possess vocal cords which give them the ability to speak like humans, but they don't because they don't have ears to hear the sounds.
Oh.
Otherwise, you'd be chatting with manatees. You're like, hey, what's up? Oh, not
That would
much.
be cool,
They
wouldn't
call
it?
me the sea cow. All right. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Almost goofed up. Replying more than 100 times to the same piece of spam email will most likely overwhelm the sender's system and interfere with their ability to send any more spam. I did not know that. I might start trying that. Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
And this is the one I posted on our Facebook page because I just thought this would be a fun image. Polar bears can eat as many as 86 penguins in a single sitting.
Oh.
So I got
Wow.
an actual photo of that on. It's not.
That's
really.
crazy.
It's a little photoshopped photo, but if you want to see that, it's kind of fun. Every day I take one of these and I put them on Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. There's your fun facts for this Friday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by RadioReallyWorks.com. I know you're listening to a podcast, but did you know the John and Heidi Show is also a radio show? And for those of you who have businesses, you should consider using radio to advertise your business. We can even help you create some catchy little jingles or amazing radio ads that'll help pull people in. Get all the details or just learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Surprising things can make you fat, Heidi. As we're rolling into Easter weekend, there are things that we all know are going to go right to the bottom line. But did you know some of these things can actually increase your ability and increase the odds that you're going to be overweight?
What's
You ready
that?
for these?
I'm ready.
Number one, gulping. Research shows eating too fast will help you gain weight. And
That's
it'll mess
nothing
with
new,
your
is it? Is that
metabolism.
surprising to anybody?
Well, somebody might be. How about suburban living? Did you know that living in the city will make you heavier than people who live in the country?
Really?
Also, the blues. Eating while you're depressed causes you to eat more. Pain meds. If you're on non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, even aspirin contains enough to contribute to weight gain.
Really?
Another one is birth control pills. They cause women to retain water, which increases weight. Non-fat eating is a surprising one. Forget the hype. Long-term studies find dieters who dramatically and drastically restrict their fat intake ultimately abandon their food plans and splurge. So if you're gobbling down a bunch of non-fat stuff, that probably won't help. Next, stress. If you're stressed out, you eat more. I definitely can relate to that one. Get-togethers. Social gatherings often center around what, Heidi?
Food.
Exactly. Or in your family's case, booze.
Alcohol. Food and alcohol.
Smoothies. You might think you're doing something healthy because, it's a smoothie, right? Well, it says when fruit is juiced, calories get concentrated, and it's fine to include fruit in your diet, but it's better to eat fruit as a whole rather than chopped into smoothie form. Mm-hmm. And the last thing on the list, again, of things that are surprisingly fattening would be diet soda. You might think you're outwitting Mother Nature by substituting with artificial sweeteners, but research shows people who consume a lot of saccharin or aspartame have become desensitized to how many calories they're taking in, and they wind up overeating. So there you go. A couple of fun little things on this Easter weekend right here on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
Survey says, is it possible, Heidi, to be happy and to be stressed?
I suppose so.
It is, according to a survey. Most Americans admit that they're pretty darn happy. 2/3 feel pretty stressed out as well. So a study by Hilton Hotels reveals that Generation Xers are more content than senior citizens and baby boomers, but about 66% of all respondents said that they feel stressed out. Want to have more fun? Need a vacation? Oddly enough, 31% of those folks feel too guilty to take time off.
I don't feel guilty. I feel too broke.
Hey, I was going to just say, it's not that I feel guilty taking time off. It's that I feel guilty that I have no money to take the time off. I could take time off, but I couldn't go anywhere.
Exactly.
That's the thing. So there you go. Interesting little survey. We've had a lot of weird surveys that I guess this one's not quite as weird as some that we've read recently, but fun stuff. Stick around. We've got much more on the way on the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
This would be a bit concerning. The British are now being asked to sign disclaimers before they eat in a food restaurant.
What?
It says, this is kind of an interesting concept. Britain restaurants are having customers sign disclaimers before eating because of fears of E. coli and salmonella poisoning.
Oh.
Now, if that is a risk for you,
if
going into a
I'm
restaurant,
going into a restaurant and they say, just in case you
And they
get
ask you
very,
to
very
sign a
sick
waiver.
and die, sign this waiver, I'd be like, I'll go next door. Thank you.
Unfortunately, this is not just a British problem. It's happening in several areas. There was a steakhouse here in the U.S. where they ordered a couple ordered a cheeseburger and they wanted it cooked medium rare. The waitress said, "We can't do medium rare because it needs to be medium
it's a burger.
well or well
Yes.
done." And if they wanted it that way, they had to sign off on the fact that.
If you're ordering that, I understand. If you're ordering something to where you could be endangering yourself, that's like saying, "I want my pork, but I'd like it red on the inside." They're not going to do that for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just have to. It makes common sense. It's common sense. You have to prepare the food to where it's safe, and if you insist on not doing that, then the restaurant shouldn't be held liable.
Yeah. So
but if it's the first thing they say to you when you walk in the door before you've even indicated what you're ordering, you
Welcome.
might
Yeah.
want to go somewhere else.
we no longer have smoking or non-smoking. It's all non-smoking. But would you like the E. coli section or the salmonella section? Either one's fine.
Wow.
All right. Coming up, easy ways to save some cash. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds earning less than 6%, listen to this. Commercial mortgage bridge loans pay 6% to 8%. That might be just what you need. You're placed in first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels, apartments, and office buildings. Your principal never fluctuates in value. You receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges, and you can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. I'll give you a toll-free number to call, 888-547-8007. Start earning 6% now. Call 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. I've got easy ways to save some cash. This is from Cosmopolitan. So if you're lacking the much-needed vacation funds, hey, we just talked about that.
Yes, we did.
Here's some tricks to beef up your bank account. Number one, lay off the plastic. It's very convenient to swipe when it comes to spending, but only using cards for purchases it says you're doing yourself a disservice. So don't use credit if you don't have to. We don't. We have no credit. That helps to not use credit. Next, set up a separate savings account. If you leave any extra money in your checking account, there's a greater chance you're going to use it to buy that dress you wanted or go out to eat. But every time you get a paycheck, if you put away, they say at least $50, you'll be amazed how fast that'll turn into something. Next, ask the question, can I do better? When paying bills every month, look and see what you're paying and find out, do I really need this plan for my cell phone, or do I need this many channels on my TV?
We've done that lately.
Yeah.
Just went through and bare-boned everything.
We did. And you know what? Here's the thing I have to admit. I don't miss the channels we got rid of.
I don't either. Not
and
at all.
I honestly feel like we're using our time a lot better than sitting and
agree.
watching the stuff that we felt obligated to watch because we paid so much to watch it. Next on the list here says sleep on it. Sleep is not only good for your health, it can actually have a very positive effect on your bank account. Very few things in life that can't wait until tomorrow. So make yourself wait 24 hours for any major purchase. And if you still need it the next day, then hey, go get it. Next, don't shop when you're sad or when you're angry or when you're hungry, because all of those things... If you're sad,
If
angry,
I
and
followed
hungry,
that, I'd never go shopping.
use coupons wisely. There are sites out there that have great coupons, and there's places to get them, but make sure you're using them wisely. Don't use the coupon just to use
because
it.
you had a coupon.
Well, why'd you buy it? I don't know. I had a coupon, so I
Right.
had to buy it. Hang out with cheapskates. It's important to let your friends know that you're trying to save, and if they're trying to save while you're trying to save, that's good. But if you're trying to save and they're not, you can actually be... I don't want to say coerced, but you can actually buy things you didn't really plan to buy just because you were hanging out with friends.
Right.
And then the last thing it says create an eBay account. It says not so you can go crazy buying stuff, but so you can clean out your closet and sell some things. Because most of us have a lot of stuff we don't need. We could probably live without it. That's all from Cosmopolitan. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Always try to wrap things up around here with a positive story. Now, I, first of all, want to just say something. I think this is really neat, but I also think when you talk about a positive story, it's positive because it's in the news, and I think it's cool, but it's also kind of pointless. It says, give the gift of faith, the smallest Bible ever printed on one surface.
Oh, so stupid.
The world's first Nano Bible is being marketed that way. The Jerusalem Nano Bible includes every single dot, comma, chapter, and verse of either the New Testament or the Old Hebrew Bible, depending on which version you get, printed on a, you ready for this? 5mm by 5mm silicon chip. The Israeli company then mounts the chip onto precious metals and jewelry like pendants and watches and bracelets and lockets. I think it's cool that they're doing something neat with the Bible, but I'm like, you can't even read it.
No, you wouldn't be able to see
The
that.
entire Bible sketched out on
and
a
how
5mm?
would you prove that it's even all on there? There's no way.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
So
Whatever.
anyway, like I said, I thought
Dumb
that was...
idea.
Well, I don't know that it's a dumb idea.
Dumb idea.
I just don't get it. Now, here's some other things that I get all the time. For my fun facts, I always come across things that I don't have time for. So here's one that I thought was interesting. Did you know the 3 best-known Western names in China? These are in China. The names that people know more than any other are, in this order, Jesus Christ, Richard Nixon, and Elvis Presley.
Richard Nixon,
Yeah.
really?
I don't know why. So now here's the thing. I don't know. How old is this fact? Maybe this is from the 70s or early 80s or something.
Huh.
But yeah, that was a fact that was proven to be true. Also, another fun fact here says the vocabulary of the average person consists of about 5,000 words. So we all know about 5,000 words. It seems that I know more than that, but apparently not. And the last little fun fact that I didn't get around to here says the original idea for steak knives came from shark teeth. I did not know that.
I didn't know that
But if you
either.
look at your steak knife, it does make sense.
Huh.
So kind of fun stuff. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the good folks at Knowles Systems. And if you haven't heard of them, well, you need to listen up because I got to tell you all about this. If you have funds earning less than 6%, maybe you should check into a better system like Knowles Systems. They have commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. If you've never heard of a commercial mortgage bridge loan, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's a loan paying 6% to 8%, and it could be just what you need. You're placed in the first position on loans secured by high-quality commercial real estate like hotels and apartments and office buildings. your principal never fluctuates in value, you receive 6% per year paid monthly, and your principal is returned in full at the end of each cycle. You never pay commissions, management fees, or asset charges. You can make these loans inside or outside of an IRA. If you'd like more info on how you can start earning 6% or more right now, call 888-547-8007. I'll give you that number again in a second, but first, you might want to just check out the website if that's easier. CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com. Again, CommercialMortgageBridgeLoans.com or 888-547-8007.
John and Heidi.
All right, Heidi, I got this one just specifically for you, and I want to make sure that I say I don't think you're my sidekick. You're my partner, right?
Okay.
We're on this program together. You're not my sidekick,
Sure.
but this is a list of the greatest sidekicks of all time. Entertainment Weekly put together a list of the 50 greatest sidekicks. Sadly, you're not on here, but you know why? Because you're not my sidekick.
Okay.
You're an equal partner. So
Anyway.
we're going to just do the top 20. Turtle, sidekick to Vincent Chase from the TV show Entourage.
What?
Barney Fife, sidekick to Andy Taylor.
Okay, that one I know.
Number 18, Andy Richter, sidekick to Conan O'Brien.
No, that one I know.
Number 11, Willow Rosenberg, sidekick to Buffy Summers.
No clue.
Nor do I. Waylon Smithers, sidekick to Montgomery
yeah.
Burns from The Simpsons. Smithers. Do you know that character, Waylon Smithers? If you watch the first season, he was an African American, and then they changed him, like for no particular reason, to a white character. I was like, what was that all about? That was kind of weird. Next on the list here, number 15, Andrew Ridgely, sidekick to George Michael from Wham. Remember them?
No.
14, Sancho Panza, sidekick to Don Quixote of De La Mancha. Robin Quivers, sidekick to Howard Stern. Number 12, Donkey, sidekick to Shrek. We're talking about the best sidekicks of all time. Next on the list here, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, sidekicks to Harry Potter. I don't know if I said any of that right.
Hermione.
What's that?
Hermione.
Is that what it is? I don't know. See, I've never paid attention. Top 10 now. So these would be the best of the best, right?
I suppose.
The best sidekicks of all time from Entertainment Weekly. Number 10, Dwight Schrute. Sidekick to Michael Scott from The
Yeah.
Office. Tattoo. Sidekick to Mr. Rourke.
Yeah,
Fantasy Island. Number 8, Ed Norton. Sidekick to Ralph Cramden
There you go.
from The Honeymooners. Number 7, Samwise Gamgee. Sidekick to Frodo Baggins. Do you know who that is?
I have no clue.
I have no clue either. I'm guessing that it's some... I've heard of Frodo. Is that from the Lord of the Rings?
Huh.
Something like that. Somebody listening right now is shouting at the radio or the computer saying, "You are such a moron." I get that a lot. I understand. Number 6 on the list, Dr. Watson, sidekick to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Number 5, Ethel Mertz, sidekick to Lucy.
Yes.
Number 4, Chewbacca, sidekick to Han
There
Solo.
you go.
Number 3, George Costanza, sidekick to Jerry Seinfeld. Now we're up to the second best sidekick of all time. Who would you guess?
John Oates.
No, not on the list because they're partners. They're not sidekicks. Robin, sidekick to Batman.
But
is the
so was
second.
Wham. They were partners. And they named those two.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know if they were. So Robin, Batman and Robin. So Robin is the second best sidekick of all time. Do you have any guesses as to who the best would be?
I really don't.
One that I really liked. Here's Johnny.
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, sidekick to Johnny Carson. He was the number 1 best, greatest sidekick of all time. According to Entertainment Weekly, they did a little survey of their readers, and that's what they came up with. Are there any that you think were missed on the list, other than Heidi Small, of course?
No. John Oates.
John
he
Oates?
was definitely missing.
I just don't know if that counts, though.
Yes,
it, was,
it does.
All right.
If
Then
Wham counted, then Hall & Oates would count.
probably in the top 50. We only had the top 20 right there. All right. I think that's going to pretty much do it for a bonus break, because I got other stuff on here, but you know what? It's not worth reading. I'm going to just get rid of this stuff. This stuff is terrible. I've been saving this for so long. Some of these stories probably celebrate a birthday this month, so I've been dragging along for a while. If they haven't made the cut yet, I think they're going to go. And I know for those of you listening, you're going, that stuff must really suck, because I've heard what made the cut. So anyway, your bonus break brought to you by Knowles Systems. If you have funds that are earning less than 6%, check into a better system. Knowles Systems. They recommend commercial mortgage bridge loans earning 6 to 8%. If you want to get some more information, get all the details at commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.